Temperatures in the 90s today. We had a high of around 95 degrees, so we had the heat. We have dew point temperatures today in the 60s, so we do have that moisture available. Now we're getting this lift making its way through the area with this cold front coming through, producing these lines of thunderstorms, and that's what's prompting the severe weather that we are experiencing in this tornado warning that we are currently experiencing. I'm going to bring up the tornado warning just yet again till 11:15 because this is getting closer towards the immediate Quad Cities. Again, this is Eldridge, LeClaire, Pleasant Valley, Walcott. Walcott's definitely want to get into your safe places. Like I said, you see all that lightning that's happening with the system making its way into the area. We also do have some severe thunderstorm warnings out as well. This is embedded actually within a severe thunderstorm warning that's in the area until 11 p.m. This tornado warning that we have with this really strong gust along its area. Now, once this initial line of gusts makes its way throughout the Quad Cities and its surrounding hometowns, our tornado parameters will decrease, but we still have high chances for hail and damaging winds as we go throughout the night tonight. The entire Quad Cities area, all of our hometowns, we are under a severe thunderstorm watch until 2 a.m. So even once this initial threat makes its way out of the area around 11:15, we're still going to be experiencing some gusty conditions. The velocity map that we look at, of course, we see that red dot within that green. That's where we're seeing some possible rotation happening within the thunderstorm warning. But as we zoom out and we take a look at the area, we see some strong gusts happening near Clinton, DeWitt, where the reds meets the greens. This front that we are experiencing, it could be pretty gusty here in this area as well. It can be very breezy, very gusty as this front makes its way into the area. Like I said, this tornado warning, I'm going to circle that so that way we could see exactly what I am talking about here in the area. This tornado warning that's issued just a little bit north of the Quad Cities. I'm just going to zoom in and see this is kind of what we're seeing right here. The rotation that has prompted the National Weather Service to issue this tornado warning is right here, this red where we see kind of like some green meeting. That's where we're seeing some of that rotation happening there, prompting this tornado warning to be issued. Going back to the satellite and radar that we are experiencing right now, this line is going to continue to go through the area here as we go throughout the nighttime. We're looking at some hail probabilities. Like I said, that's another concern with this system. We really see the highest hail probability along the line. This is where the strongest of the storms will be and where we could see that initial rotation pop up here in the Quad Cities. Is that happening here? So I'm going to pull up our Bridgepoint camera to see if we could see anything since we are so close, since that tornado warning is close here in the Quad Cities area, and see if maybe we could see possibly anything on our camera. It's very dark. We do see lots of lightning happening currently, trying to see if we could see anything. Like I said, tornado warnings at night, very dangerous. Do not want to be outside right now. Darkness, lightning, rain wrapped. So be very careful and definitely want to get into the safe places. But I was trying to see if I could possibly see anything. But of course, with it being so dark, I can't really see anything happening. Let's look at our debris tracker. So the debris tracker, well, before I show you the debris tracker, let's go back and look at the velocity so I can show you what we saw. So we do see here in the area, the red dot popping up kind of like a little bit with the green where we're seeing the reds meet the green. Well, if we look at the debris tracker, we could see if we see any blues in that area. If we see lots of blues picking up, that's some debris being picked up by tornadoes. We could get that on our satellites and radars, and that will reflect back to us, and we'll see some blues pop up, putting us in that likely range. So that's a good tracker that we like to use to see if there is a tornado possibly popping up on top of the velocity, so we could see if there's actually anything happening. As I'm zooming into the area, I'm not really seeing a blue circle is what we like to look for, multiple blue dots together, getting some type of indication of anything happening. I'm not seeing that on our debris tracker. Velocity tracker, possibly we like I said, we do see some of the reds and greens meeting. We do have that line gust a little bit north of Eldridge as well, from Clinton to DeWitt. So definitely getting some breezy conditions as this line makes its way into the Quad Cities area for tonight. We do have a chance for some more strong to severe thunderstorms as we go throughout the night. Like I said, we do have that severe thunderstorm watch until 2 a.m. Our far northern hometowns could see some more strong storms make its way into the area early Sunday morning. So definitely want to stay weather aware for that. That's kind of closer to Maquoketa in Dubuque where that is occurring. Going back to our satellite and radar, like I said, just this line, this cold front is really pushing into the area, providing us with some lift here in the Quad Cities. This cold front that's providing this lift now is going to cause us to have some cooler temperatures, though, for tomorrow as we go throughout your Sunday. Today, we had the heat, we had the moisture, and now we have this lift occurring, causing us to have this tornado warning in the Quad Cities until around 11:15. So where to shelter that you want to look at as it's getting closer to a high populated area, the tornado warning that we are currently seeing. This is where you need to go. You don't want to go outside. You definitely do not want to be outside. I cannot stress that enough, especially with the time of night it is. It's night outside. Never want to be outside at night. Us, even as meteorologists and chasers and people who enjoy the weather, will never be out during this time trying to see if anything is happening. Definitely want to get inside. Like I said, the lowest levels of your house, that is where you are the safest at here in the as we go throughout the nighttime, if you do not have a basement to go to. This line still pushing through in the Quad Cities here in the area. This line, let's see, if we look at our CAPE levels, we still have some CAPE in the area. Looking at the past 3 hours, we can really see that heat is still here. It's slowly but surely, or the next 3 hours, I should say, the energy here. So we will continue to have the energy. The National Weather Service is reporting gusts up to about 62, 63 miles per hour happening here in the area. So very breezy, strong winds that's occurring. That's another reason why we do have that severe thunderstorm warning in place here in the Quad Cities. On top of that tornado warning that we were experiencing, that tornado warning is within a severe thunderstorm because we do meet the requirement of that, of gusts up to about 60 miles per hour. The National Weather Service has issued a thunderstorm warning. That's them right now. That's what you're hearing. That's our weather radio that we have here at the station. Hopefully you have a weather radio as we go throughout the nighttime. That's another great way to get your weather updates. Of course, we'll be here on TV talking to you, but if getting a weather radio is also great. You could also download our Storm Track 8 weather app. But the National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning until 11:45. Yes, okay, we are getting reports of 70 miles per hour wind at the Davenport Airport. Very strong winds that's occurring currently right now. Like I said, and then the severe thunderstorm warning I was telling you for Rock Island and Whiteside, Illinois, has been extended until 11:45 p.m. So that's what we're experiencing. So as we go and look at that severe thunderstorm warning near the Rock Island, Whiteside County, we can see that has been added, again, due to gusts. Like I said, here at the airport, we're getting up to gusts up to at the Davenport Airport at 70 miles per hour. Okay, it's not popping up. It's being very difficult trying to get into that area. I just wanted to show you guys on that map, that line is about to enter into the area. This line is producing the tornado warning that we have, so it's getting pop-up tornadoes in it, but on top of that, it is providing us with some very gusty conditions here in the Quad Cities. So although if you're in that severe thunderstorm warning and you're not under that tornado warning that we are currently experiencing here just a little bit north of the Quad Cities for Eldridge, LeClaire, Pleasant Valley, and Walcott, even if you're not underneath that tornado warning, if you're in that line where that system is going, then you're going to be experiencing some pretty breezy conditions because it's pretty gusty. As we look at our velocity map, we could really see the green and the red, that line of green that's going into the red and vice versa. That's where we're seeing some real strong winds happen. Let's track out the system. Let's get a tracker on it so we can see what hometowns are in its path. for hometowns that need to, so that way you can be weather aware as we go throughout the night, and as this line makes its way into the area. Now, once this line passes, that initial line passes, we're going to see still the hail threat and damaging wind threat, but that tornado threat does decrease going throughout the nighttime. So let's put a tracker on this and drag it out and see. It's going in like a south, or I would say a north easterly direction. It seems like the storms are kind of going in, so track that out. As we can see, okay, about Clinton, that system's getting to you in about 27 minutes. Savannah, 8 minutes. Sterling, we can see that getting to you in about 60 minutes, making its way into the area. This line of storms that is producing a possible tornado here in the Quad Cities, just a little bit north of us. Going back to the rotation, let's see its rotation if we see anything. We're seeing a little bit of a decrease. Okay, so we're seeing south of Eldredge now, we're seeing that it's a weak level. That's where we're seeing possible weak rotation occurring in the area. Sorry, I was reading the NWS, getting notifications from them. So yes, a little bit south of Eldredge, we do see weak rotation happening. So there could be a possible funnel cloud occurring out there. Let's bring back up Bridgepoint camera. I know I just want to see if we could maybe see something with all the lightning happening with the storms being so close to the immediate Quad Cities. If we could see anything, it's still pretty dark, lots of lightning occurring. The tornado warning is going to be, has been continued. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Bettendorf, moving east at about 40 miles per hour. That's what we're tracking right now. That's why that tornado warning is being continued. It's going to be continued until 11:15 p.m. here in the Quad Cities area. Like I said, we're getting gusts up to about 70 miles per hour at the airport here in the Quad Cities. That's been also reported by the National Weather Service. So let's go back to our satellite and radar. This line making its way into the Quad Cities area, producing this storm here in the area. This frontal, that's why we're experiencing it, is because of a cold front making its way into the area. This cold front's lifting, providing us with some of this stuff. The tornado warning for Clinton continues. The severe, not tornado warning, I apologize. The severe thunderstorm warning for Clinton, Muscatine, and Scott County all are staying until 11 p.m. So that's about 10 more minutes left of that. They're reporting 70 miles per hour with that system. And then of course, hail about 3/4 or larger. See, let's pull up the velocity because we still have that tornado warning happening until 11:15. Let's see, we're seeing more red on the map. That is a good thing. Earlier we saw a little bit, some red and some green rotating into the area just a few moments ago. So let's pull up that rotation and see if we're seeing any decrease in the hail rotation and see if any weakness is lasting. We're still kind of seeing the same amount of rotation that we saw, just that really dark, or that green clump a little bit south of Eldredge in the area. Let's pull up our debris tracker. Like I said, the debris tracker is a good thing to look at as well. If anything actually has touched down or if there's been any damage, we're not seeing really looks like any blues on the map that's occurring. If you saw like clusters of blue, that's putting us in that likely debris range, which means there is some possible damage or debris that has been picked up by a possible tornado if there was a tornado that was occurring. But on our map, we're all clear there. Let's see, let's pull up the satellite and radar again and just see this line is still moving here throughout our northern hometowns. Our southern hometowns, for the most part, are dry. Galesburg, we do see a little strong cell that's about to make its way through your area. So if you are in Galesburg, get ready for some rain and some rumbles of thunder. You guys are not under any severe thunderstorm warnings, just the strong storm that's going to make its way through. But other than that, majority of The active weather that we're currently experiencing is north of the Quad Cities, Princeton, a little west of you guys. As we get closer to Peru, there are some showers that's happening in that area as well. The strongest of the weather is just here in the immediate Quad Cities, where we are seeing that tornado warning again for Eldridge, LeClaire, Pleasant Valley, lasting until 11:15 p.m. Lots of lightning, as you can see on the map with this system. Still looking at that tornado warning that's happening embedded in a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go and look at our other severe thunderstorm warning near Sterling and Morrison and Prophetstown and Thompson. This severe thunderstorm warning is just due to really some breezy winds that's happening with some hail that's happening. So let's just pull up our hail probability tracker for this warning that's making its way into the area. I can hear some stuff outside here at the station that sounds like the wind is really starting to pick up. I can hear it against our doors here. Going back to Savannah, Clinton, where that one warning is, we're in that low part there for the hail probability. As we look up the hail size, that hail size is now a little bit where closer here to the immediate Quad Cities. Oh, we're seeing some hail size pick up right a little bit north of the Quad Cities, south of DeWitt. We're seeing around half an inch of some hail happening with this system, as well as Muscatine. Muscatine's getting some hail as well, around a half an inch of rain. That's the National Weather Service. That's another severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued. So this is for Borough, Henry, and Rock Island County. This now goes in Scott County. This now is going to 11:30 p.m. So they have extended the severe thunderstorm warning. Again, the National Weather is saying considerable wind of 70 miles per hour. Again, hail greater than 3/4 of an inch. We're seeing that hail on our hail size tracker near Eldridge and DeWitt. We're seeing around half an inch of some hail, as well as a little bit to the north and east of Muscatine. So let's just see, looking at our hail damage size. So we're seeing around a half an inch make its way into the area. So let's pull up our hail size. So that's about probably around like little under like pea-size hail. We're not seeing really any damage here. It's when we get to that 1 inch hail that we start to see some damage occur. So if you are in the Eldridge area, you may hear, or Muscatine area, as you pull up that hail size tracker, you probably hear some banging at your windows with that hail falling, but it's small. We're just seeing some oranges on the map, around half an inch of some hail occurring. This is one of the main threats that we did have with the system, the hail and the damaging winds. Now, the tornado threat was a low threat. It was still a possible chance, but we couldn't rule out a possible tornado as we went throughout the day. We couldn't rule it out completely. There was a chance for an isolated tornado that could pop up, and we're clearly under a tornado warning until around 11:15, so about another 20 minutes. So we still have that about the threat that we're experiencing here in the area. So speaking of that tornado warning, let's just bring that up again until 11:15 here in the Quad Cities, or not the Quad Cities area, for Eldridge, LeClaire, Pleasant, and Princeton. That's happening in LeClaire. Velocity map, as we look at that up, we do see zooming in into that area, we do see a little bit of some like broadening happening. It's pretty breezy and gusty in this area that we're currently experiencing, not only with the rotation, but we do have that line, as you can see, near going all the way up through Clinton in the area that does have the tornado warning. So like I said, with the tornado warning being so close to a highly populated area, it's best to know where to shelter, especially, like I said, it's nighttime, rain, lightning, difficult to see. Even the most trained professionals in weather do not chase during this time because it is very dangerous. So these are the places that you don't want to shelter. You don't want to be outside. You don't want to be upstairs. You want to get down to the lowest floor possible. If you don't have a basement, getting to the lowest floor into your interior of your house, like a hallway closet or a hallway in general, or a bathroom, the best place that you need to go is going to be downstairs in the basement, if that does, where you should be during a tornado warning that's happening. All right, going back and looking at the satellite and radar, we do have this line making its way into the area. It's now getting closer to the Quad Cities. And like I said, once this initial line makes its way throughout the Quad Cities or any Clinton or Sterling, that initial line where we see that gust of wind really happening in the area, once that passes, we will see a decrease in possible, and behind that, we can still see some damaging winds and still some hail behind that. As we saw, we are seeing around a ½ inch of hail in the Quad Cities area. Let's see, looking at of course, we still have that tornado warning that's issued. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning that has now been extended. This line hasn't got to Geneseo yet, Erie. It's almost getting to Sterling. We're starting to see that. So be prepared for the gusts to come through the area. It's going to start getting pretty windy. If it hasn't picked up the winds already, honestly, in Geneseo, if you're not hearing the winds against your windows or your house, you'll be hearing them pretty soon. It's going to be pretty breezy. And then this line will make its way into the area, bringing us with some strong winds here for your hometowns. Okay, so let's see. As we get into the nighttime hours, let's see, Cape. We see Cape here. It's in that medium range, more extreme as you make your way towards Mount Pleasant. Are we seeing anything outside, Josh? We have Josh Lamberty here. He's helping me out. He's looking outside the WQAD window or the door. Anything that you're seeing possibly out there? Any rain?
Yeah, right
pretty
now,
breezy.
Just some light rain here in Moline, here at the WQAD studios. We are seeing a lot of lightning outside too, and I am hearing the storm sirens outside as well here in Moline. So if you are in Moline, take cover now, find your safe space, be that inside, away from windows,
yes.
Lowest level of your house if you can.
Yes.
Also want to just point out for you, Efridge, while you're taking a quick look at radar and keep tracking these storms for us. As of just a couple of moments ago, MidAmerican Energy was reporting, and this graphic is not correct. I did not save it before it went on the air, but there are now close to 200 MidAmerican Energy customers on the Iowa side of the river that are without power as of right now. So this will, of course, be a long night for them as this system makes its way through the Quad Cities. So again, storm sirens are going off on the Moline side of the river. Heard those just outside the News 8 studios. Again, find your safe place if you are in Moline, in Rock Island County, in Scott County, as the system makes it on its way through. A lot of lightning with this storm, Efridge, but so far not a whole lot of rain here in Moline.
Right. Yes, and speaking of your outages, I have pulled up the MidAmerican website. We're seeing here in the Quad Cities, we have 194 people on the Iowa side without power. On the Illinois side, we have currently just one person without some rain happening, so just a little bit less than 200. So those are the most power outages that we are seeing with this system making its way through the area. We can see that number increase. Like I said, when that initial line, when that line initially gets here into the Quad Cities, that's where your hometown, that's where we're seeing the strongest of the winds, gusts happening. That's where we see this pops tornado that has been embedded in that line, that tornado warning that we're under until 11:15 for Eldridge, LeClaire, Pleasant Valley, in Princeton. The tornadoes are embedded with that initial gust in line making its way into the area. Like I said, once that line makes its way through, that tornado threat decreases, but not the winds and the hail. That can still be experienced once that initial line has made its way into the area. We're seeing some more broadening, looking at our velocity map for that tornado warning near Eldridge, Mount Pleasant Valley. You can see which is embedded within a severe thunderstorm warning. This is like what we like to see, the debris tracker. We've been looking at the debris tracker and we haven't really seen too much pop up. Let's see. As we look at the debris tracker, it's, again, not really seeing too many like anything glaring, any blues really glaring, any like blue balls or blue circles popping up here. Let's go look at our rotation. That rotation, last time we saw some weak rotation. That weak rotation has now shifted closer here to the immediate Quad Cities. It was closer to Eldridge. So if you're in the immediate Quad Cities, especially that looks like on the Davenport side of the area, definitely want to get into your safe spaces as well. We're still seeing some weak rotation near Eddington, but Eddington, you're not under any warnings at the moment. So, but still just keep an eye out for that. But that weak rotation has made its way closer, as you can see on that Davenport side of the river. Definitely want to take cover. That is the National Weather Service issuing a tornado warning until 11:45. Definitely want to take shelter right now. You want to get in the lowest floor. You want to get into the lowest part of your floor if you do not have a basement. Basement's the best place to go. If you don't have a basement, definitely want to get on the first floor in the interiors of your house, your closet, your bathroom door. This new tornado warning, let's pull that up and see. It's until 11:45. Now this one includes, it looks like the immediate Quad Cities. Yes, it includes Bettendorf, Davenport, Moline, and Rock Island. We do hear the thunder now making its way into the area. So if you're in the immediate Quad Cities, you need to take cover right now. I just showed you that rotation map that popped up. That green area, that weak rotation had shifted closer here to the immediate Quad Cities, that weak rotation. So get into your safe places right now. Do not go outside. It is late at night. We are experiencing lots of rain, lightning as well. You do not want to get outside. You need to go immediately to your safe place. This is a very dangerous time of night to try to go outside and see what's happening. Do not do that. Get into your places. So let's pull up the velocity map and see if I can see anything closer here to the immediate Quad Cities.
While you're looking at that effort, just to illustrate the point about how severe this storm is, the National Weather Service here in the Quad Cities tweeted out not that long ago that they ended up taking shelter because of this storm and shifted all of their duties to another National Weather Service office based in La Crosse. So this is nothing to joke about. The National Weather Service took cover because of this storm. So please get to your safe space as quickly as you can if you are in this area of the tornado warning here in the immediate Quad Cities.
Yes, and speaking of the National Weather Service, the reasoning that they have issued that tornado warning for here in the immediate Quad Cities is because they said another rotated area has quickly developed between Davenport and Moline near the river. That is why they have continued that tornado warning, and it has been extended to 11:45. Like I said, here in Moline, we can hear the sirens outside. I'm fairly certain the Iowa side of the river, now that with this tornado warning being issued, that the sirens are going off over there. If you're in the immediate Quad Cities, take cover right now. Again, cannot stress that enough. Velocity graph, we're seeing some possible broad rotation. I can hear the rain now coming down on the building here in the Quad Cities. Debris tracker, let's pull that up and see if we can see possibly anything. Debris, I'm not seeing any debris pick up on the map. It's still pretty much in the red and pink zone, which is in that none. That blue puts us in that likely range, so we're not seeing any debris being thrown into the air by any possible thunderstorms or possible tornadoes that's being produced. Let's just pull up the Bridgepoint camera to see if the lightning can illuminate something here. We can, wow, look at that rain. It's really coming down heavy. We can really look at the Bridgepoint camera and see.
You can hear it on top of the News 8 studio as well.
Exactly, you can hear it on top of the News 8 studio. Very heavy rain with this system. Lightning, it's lightning as well. I can't really see anything. Again, this is why you need to be in your safe places right now. If you're out on the road, like you see those cars, you definitely want to get into a gas station if possible. Try to put some shelter between you and the outside here in the area. So let's go back and look at the radar. This line has made its way into the area. Now we're experiencing this line. This is providing us with some lift. We had very warm temperatures. We still have warm temperatures out as well. Last when we did when I did the news forecast around 10 a.m. or 10 p.m., we were seeing temperatures in the 80s. We do have dew point temperatures in the 60s, providing us with some moisture. Now we have this cold front making its way into the area, so that is giving us some lift, and we're really seeing some severe storms make its way into the area that's producing this tornado warning that we are experiencing in the Quad Cities. This tornado warning has been issued for the immediate Quad Cities. This is going into 11:15 for Eldridge, LeClaire, Mount Pleasant Valley, Princeton. You guys have about 10 more minutes underneath this tornado warning that's happening. Here in the immediate Quad Cities, this just got issued until 11:45. Want to take place right now, get into your shelter. Right now, the lowest level of your household, that is the best. Like I said, we can really hear the sirens going right now. Just outside of the studio, we really can see the rain falling. We saw the Bridgepoint camera earlier. We saw the heavy rainfall making its way into the area. So let's pull up the rotation map again. So we see that green is making its way. Yes, we do see some weak rotation here, not only in Davenport, we're seeing some weak rotation here in Moline as well. Weak rotation take place. I cannot stress this enough. We are seeing some weak rotation on the map. Like Josh said earlier, even the National Weather Service had to go take shelter. It's a very serious situation. We're just about an hour outside of midnight, very dark outside. So tornado warning here in the immediate Quad Cities, every single portion of the Quad Cities, Davenport, Bettendorf, Rock Island, under that tornado warning until 11:45. We're seeing some weak rotation pop up on our rotation map here in the area. I cannot stress that enough, getting to the safe places. Let's go back and look. That line is pretty much here in the Quad Cities. Getting into the Quad Cities, this cell making its way into the Quad Cities. Like I said, once this initial line makes its way through, this initial gust behind that, we'll see a decrease in the tornado chances. These tornadoes are really just popping up where that lift is really occurring, where we're really seeing that cold front pop off and take place. So immediate Quad Cities, you need to take cover right now here in the area until 11:45. You can, of course, we're on the Storm Track 8 weather app. You can see us that way, broadcasting and having a weather radio as well to get some updates, notifications while you are in your safe place until 11:45 until this system makes its way out of the area. Let's pull up the reports map. We're seeing hail maps. We see some gusty winds that was reported just a little bit north of the Quad Cities. We do see some hail near Burlington that has been reported, some damaging winds north towards Galena. Galena has already experienced some strong to damaging winds making its way into the area a little bit earlier today, so it's not surprising that we see that. Let's just pull up the Bridgepoint camera. Like I said, since we're seeing some possible rotation, if we can see anything at all, it's really hard to see anything happen because it is night, rain and lightning. Heavy rainfall is coming down into the area. It's very hard to see if anything is occurring, but that's what it looks like at our Bridgepoint camera as this is facing the Davenport side of the river. In Davenport and Moline, they're currently the two areas that I showed you just a little bit ago that we did see some weak rotation happening when I pulled up the rotation map. Like I said, Davenport and Moline are experiencing some weak rotation. So you definitely want to get into the safe places here. Now we're seeing that rotation a little bit shift towards a little in East Moline as well. We're seeing possible weak rotation near East Moline. The Davenport side, we've seen a decrease in that, still seeing some possible weak rotation on the Moline side of the river, including East Moline as well. Let's see, the tornado warning continues for Rock Island, Henry County, Scott County until 11:45. That's the National Weather Service letting us know that has been continuing. The rain is really coming down heavy. It's coming down really heavy here at the station. We welcome the rain, but we do not welcome, especially for this time of night, we don't want the type of severe weather. We definitely need the rain though, so that's a good thing, but we are experiencing some severe weather. Immediate Quad Cities, I cannot stress this enough, get into your safe places. This line is now making its way closer. Sterling, it's starting to knock at your door. Let's just track out to see what next of our hometowns can see this active weather make its way into the area. I'm gonna just drag out. It's moving, looks like to the north and to the east. We're gonna drag it out and pull it up. Let's see. and go this way. Let's see, it looks like at Sterling, it's about 3 minutes away from you guys. Geneseo about 18 minutes, Kewaunee about 49 minutes. Now, Sterling and Geneseo, you guys are not under you guys are under thunderstorm warnings, so tornado warnings are not here near you guys. It's in the immediate Quad Cities. It's going to get pretty breezy there as that initial front makes its way throughout the area. As we go towards Geneseo, we see the yellows on the map, that kind of like before where that green meets. That's a strong gust making its way into the area. Geneseo's close to you guys. Prophetstown getting close to you guys. So it's going to be pretty breezy here in just a little bit if it's not breezy outside already. And then the breezy conditions in the hail. Let's just look at our hail probability. With this system, the hail probability, of course, here in the immediate Quad Cities, we're seeing that in the middle range. As we get closer to Clinton, we're seeing that as well. Let's see if we see any hail size. Earlier, when I pulled up the hail size, we were seeing a decrease in the hail size from earlier. It's still less than half an inch that's occurring. The severe thunderstorm warning is going to continue for Rock Island and Whiteside County until 11:45. The National Weather Service has just continued with that update. So we are seeing a decrease, though, back to our folks in like Sterling and Geneseo, where this line's about to enter. Geneseo was about 3 minutes out. Sterling was about 18 minutes out. It's going to get pretty breezy, going to get some heavy rainfall, and you hear some hail making its way into the area. Let's get back here to the immediate Quad Cities, where we are experiencing this tornado warning until 11:45. In about 2 minutes, we're going to see if the National Weather Service extends that tornado warning. That's for Eldridge, Pleasant Valley. That ends here at 11:15. So we should be getting an update here shortly about that. Now, if that tornado warning expires, then that tornado warning expires. However, you guys are still under that severe thunderstorm warning that's happening until around 11:45 p.m., but that tornado warning would have gone away. Here in the immediate Quad Cities, we're still in our tornado warning until 11:45 p.m. So get into your safe places for about another 30 minutes, and you want to stay there in the area. So let's look at our debris tracker. Let's just see if we're seeing anything happening as we zoom into our tornado warned areas. The blues is if you saw like a really blue happening on our map, that could be indication of debris popping up. I'm not seeing any debris popping up, so that's a good thing as far as right now. The National Weather Service is continuing the severe thunderstorm warning for Burrough, Henry, and Rock Island County, Whiteside County until 11:30 p.m. for tonight. So still have this tornado warning here in the immediate Quad Cities. Can really hear the rain coming down. Let's just see if we can see anything. It's pretty dark outside. Like I said, this is not the best time. We're seeing a little bit of decrease in some rain. It's not raining as heavy. Looking at the Bridgepoint camera, still seeing some lightning. Is there anything you wanted to add, Josh?
Yeah, so I just took a quick look outside the News 8 studios, and just as I'm opening the door, it sounds like there may be some very small hail that's coming down here in Moline right now. I have gotten some reports from a couple of our colleagues, both of whom are in Davenport. One said just about maybe 10 minutes ago that they were hearing sirens in Davenport as well, so that speaks to what we've been talking about. Another one of our producers is taking shelter right now and says that they can hear the wind and thunder through their walls right now. So again, just get into that safe place, shelter where you can. Also want to show you the power outage map again that I was just updating. There are a lot of customers, Mid-American specifically, that are without power right now. Right now, more than 1,700 Mid-American Energy customers are without power. It's mostly on the Iowa side of the river. That makes sense with where this storm has been tracking. ComEd customers, currently about 58, and most of those customers are just north of the Sterling area, so that's going to be where this storm is heading next. So again, these numbers are likely going to increase because this storm has packed a punch with the strong winds, the 70 miles an hour clocked at the Davenport airport. So efforts, just a lot going on here with the storm right now.
A lot going, and just you brought up the point that one of our colleagues, and even here at the station, as you go outside, you can hear the little hailstones. We are experiencing some hailstones Here in the Quad Cities, as you get closer towards the Quad City International Airport, we are experiencing some hail size less than half an inch, which is not surprising. We're not too far from the airport here at the station, so the fact that we're getting some of that here is not surprising at all. We're still getting some hail a little bit south of East Moline near Pleasant Valley. As we zoom in closer towards Edgington to the west of you guys, or east of you guys are also getting some hail with that. As we zoom out and take a look at the region overall, we still see some hail just a little bit north of Muscatine. Now this line for Muscatine has really kind of passed through the initial line, but like I said, once that initial line goes through, we're not done with the severe weather just yet. That's just a decrease in the possibility of a tornado, because we can get some tornadoes, a quick spin up that can occur within this line making its way through the area, that initial line. But once that line makes its way through, we still have the hail on the other side and we still have the damaging wind. So we are seeing that as we go a little bit north of Muscatine with that hail. Looks like we're seeing some hail near Galesburg. Galesburg, so far, we're seeing some hail as well. Now, Galesburg, you guys are not underneath any severe thunderstorm warnings or any tornado warnings, but you guys did have a strong cell making its way towards you guys, and that cell was possible producing some hail. I'm going to pull up the radar so we can see that strong cell. We do have that line, of course, here in the Quad Cities and north. Majority of our hometowns to the south, though, are relatively quiet, except for Galesburg. This strong cell's making its way to the area. It's producing some hail that we did see on the previous map. Zoom in closer to that. That system is now making its way closer to Wyoming, so you guys could be possibly getting some hail with that. That cell made its way into the area. Now this cell near Galesburg is not under any warnings. The warnings are to the Quad Cities to the north and out to the east. I just want to make that very clear. You guys are just experiencing a strong cell making its way through the area. This is not a warned storm. It's just a strong storm that's producing some hail that has just like made its way through Galesburg and is heading in the northeast direction. Let's see. In Stevenson County, we are getting reports of wind damage. That's from the law enforcement there. They're seeing trees down north of Freeport towards Orangeville. There's also a report of a blown transformer in that area also, so some strong winds happening with this system. Moving back though here to the immediate Quad Cities, as we're still under that tornado warning. Let's see. Let's pull up. I believe it's 11:19. Okay, it looks like the National Weather Service has expired the other tornado warning that we were experiencing here in the area for Eldridge, Pleasant Valley. It looks like that has been canceled. And also, as I look at the map, yes, okay, and you know, the National Weather Service has canceled a tornado warning for Scott County, in Henry County and Rock Island County. So we're just experiencing some severe thunderstorm warnings right now until 11:45 p.m. So just a quick roundup. Our tornado warnings have expired, but as we go throughout the night, this line is going to make its way into the Quad Cities area and its surrounding hometowns. So it's just look at the map. We see it's moving in a northeasterly direction. Now this initial line is making the way through the area. That's what's caused the spin ups here in the Quad Cities. That has further been canceled. That got canceled by the National Weather Service. That has been canceled, and so we're just dealing with some severe thunderstorm warnings. I'm just going to give you a track out for that really quickly before I let you go, just so you can get your times for your hometowns as it's making its way towards Sterling in Geneseo. Put a tracker on that moving in a northeasterly direction. Drag that out and pull it up. It looks, oh, we hear the thunderstorms. It's still pouring down rain here in the immediate Quad Cities. Like I said, that tornado system has that tornadic warning has expired, and we're going to move that way in a northeasterly direction. So we can see Sterling in about 15 minutes, Geneseo in around 30-ish minutes. You guys are going to get some this line making its way through the area. It's going to be pretty breezy, and you're going to get some hail possibly with this line. We see the hail probability right where that initial line is. Where the initial line starts, we see the blue make its way into the area. That's where we see that medium range of hail. This system has produced here some half an inch size hail or less, so you guys could see some pea size hail as it goes closer towards Geneseo, Sterling, and our further western hometowns here in the Quad Cities. Just to pull up the hail size tracker really quickly, here in the immediate Quad Cities, still experiencing some of that small hail, half an inch or smaller hail here in the area. So just one final look at the satellite and radar. This line is making its way throughout the area. It's made its way through here, the Quad Cities. We've had the tornado warnings canceled. Severe thunderstorm warnings are still until 11:45 p.m. for some of our hometowns. We can see that severe thunderstorm warning for Morrison, Prophetstown, Sterling, Rock Falls is till 11:45, and then we can see near Geneseo that system is still experiencing a severe thunderstorm warning until around 11:45 as well. So just be mindful of that. Have the Storm Trackgate weather app handy for you as you go throughout your night. We're still under a severe thunderstorm watch until 2 a.m. The entire Quad Cities and its surrounding hometowns. And with that, we'll send you back to local programming.